Snickerdoodles are a great classic cookie. If you're anything like me, you probably grew up eating them. Maybe you're even still baking them for your family now. Well, I am Amy from A Red Spatula, and I love to bake things that have whole wheat flour. Now, the challenge is, of course, is that I always want them to taste like that classic version that I remember from my childhood. And that is why I created, or actually changed, this recipe for Snickerdoodles that I'm going to show you today. It's that chewy texture that you're looking for. They're thick, but they are also made with whole wheat flour. You're not going to believe the results. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'm going to teach you all about how to make cookies with whole wheat flour but have them still taste like the original. Okay, my first recommendation is to use whole wheat pastry flour. This comes from a soft wheat. It's a lower protein flour, and it is very similar to all-purpose or even a cake flour. The next tip is, especially when you're starting out using whole wheat, is to use a blend of all-purpose flour and whole wheat flour. This will keep your baked goods very close to the original, but still add in those health benefits. Now let's go ahead and start making the cookies by beating together the butter, the brown sugar, and the granulated sugar. You want to do this until it's kind of light and fluffy. It takes a few minutes. Once that's done, you're going to add in your eggs and your vanilla. And here's where things get kind of tricky. You do not want to over mix at this point. It's always important in any baked good, but it's especially important when it comes to whole wheat baked goods. Otherwise, they're very tough. So once these are mixed in, we're going to add in our dry ingredients. Now it's the same thing with the dry ingredients. We do not want to over mix them. You only mix it until it all comes together. And it'll do this fairly quickly. I'm also going to link my hand mixer because I love it so much. I just got it a few months ago and it's the best. So once your cookie batter is done, we're going to make our cinnamon sugar, and you just mix this all together. And then once it's mixed well, we're going to scoop our cookies into it and roll them completely. Okay, the next tip that I want to share is that one thing about whole wheat baked goods is they absorb more moisture. I think most of us know that. But what I feel like is really important when it comes to them is not to over bake. This is probably the number one thing that dries out whole wheat baked goods more than anything. So you want these to just be barely browned around the edges when they're done. I mean, you can see these are barely browned. And this is it. This is the finished product. You can see that they're thick, they're chewy, they're perfect for dipping in milk or eating them just like they are. And they are just like your classic oatmeal cookie. Look at that texture. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and get baking.